Race day and day 2 of the 2007 Manx Grand Prix. The sun has come out this time. Conditions much better than they've been for Monday's racing and much of practice. This is the Junior Classic, the field made up with 350cc and 250cc bikes. The sun is definitely glistening on the fairings. 2 Senior Classic winners, John Goodall, victor in 1983, Ryan Farquhar, victor 2 days ago, but neither had won this junior race before. Fastest in practice was twice previous winner Chris McGann. The final push to the start line, 1 is Chris McGann on the Honda 350, 2 is Ian Locker, also Honda shod, 3 is John Goodall on the AJS, while number 4 is another Honda, that of Chris Palmer. Ian Locker will get this one underway, engages gear, and it's eyes right as he waits for the 3 legs of man to drop. Alongside him is Chris McGann. And here he goes, he and McGann head along the Glen Crutchery Road. Well, there's wee Jimmy and the rest of the crew at Sulby. And away goes John Goodall, number 3, and Chris Palmer, number 4. Quarterbridge, and it's Locker, but McGann is close enough to maybe power past, which he does, as they make their way down toward Braddon Bridge. Here's Ryan Farquhar on the Honda, alongside him Bob Price, also on a Honda. More machines make their way toward Bray Hill. Steve Elliott brings his Honda to the start line. Again, Honda dominating the field. Here's 2 more. 15 is Dean Martin. 16 is John Burrows as they prepare to leave. Roy Richardson, 10 years to the day since he won the Junior Manx Grand Prix and, of course, winner of this race last year. Once again backed by Martin Bullock Racing. Twin-cylinder Hondas make up the 350 field, but in the 250s it's generally the Suzuki twin-cylinder, which many riders opt for. 12, Paul Dobbs, the New Zealander who now lives in the Isle of Man, so he certainly knows this circuit very well. There may no longer be any room for 350s and 250s at the TT, but they're still very much a part of the Manx. Dean Martin first in the Quarterbridge ahead of John Burrows. Burrows, one of a number of competitors from Northern Ireland who it seems just can't stay away from this circuit. Glorious sunshine, and part of the attraction of an event like this is standing at the side of the road and listening for the sound of engines in the distance. In this instance, it's the Honda of Chris McGann. 3rd on this opening lap, a 2nd behind Ryan Farquhar, but already it's Roy Richardson who's leading by a whopping 12 seconds. Conditions are almost perfect today. Here comes Roy Richardson, bike number 10, already ahead of Ian Locker at Sulby. In fact, there's 5 bikes on the road. Richardson, Locker, then it's Farquhar, who knows he's at best 2nd. Behind him is Chris Palmer. As Farquhar moves past Locker, does he? As he tries to hunt down race leader Roy Richardson. So a stunning opening lap by Roy Richardson, and he's in pursuit of Chris McGann as Doug Snow and Dave Matson-Migdal approach Sulby. Ryan Farquhar at signpost and now trailing Richardson by around 15 seconds, yet it's been a quick opening lap by Farquhar as he heads towards the Nook. Here's Chris McGann, still 3rd, but he lost a lot of time to Farquhar over the mountain on lap 1 and he trails by 18 seconds. This is John Goodall, who's 4th, just ahead of Tony Myers and Goodall's AJS, the leading non-Honda, yet Myers on the Norton is not far behind in 5th. McGann approaches Braddon Bridge, and that could well be race leader Roy Richardson in the distance as he exits Quarterbridge. Richardson, an amazing lap, just over 22 minutes. Dave Matson-Migdal's Honda has found its way past Doug Snow's Ducati, both men in a close dice for 6th with Watty Brown and Steve Elliott, who've yet to come through signpost, but only seconds separating all 4 on this opening lap. John Goodall, his time is 23 minutes 17 seconds, an average of just over 97 miles an hour. And another Honda comes into view, this one with Bob Price on it, hovering around 10th place on this opening lap. Meanwhile, the news is Ian Locker has retired at Sulby. Dave Matson-Migdal and Doug Snow, and they're now 7th and 8th. Watty Brown's just gone through the grandstand, and he's in receipt of 6th position. And this is the man in 12th, Rich Hawkins, on one of 2 Ducatis that are in this race. And Hawkins is just 2 seconds behind this man, and that's Bob Price on the Honda. Price a whisker under 96 miles an hour on lap 1. Over Ragos and away Steve Elliott. He's in 9th, just half a second behind Doug Snow. Now there's another bike coming. It's Paul Dobbs on the Air Mackie, and he was around 15th place, but it's all very tight from 6th all the way to 15th. Back at Solby and Two Machines interview, and it looks like Chris McGahn, and that could well be Roy Richardson behind him. Indeed it is, so Richardson is looking to pass McGahn. Between them, these two men have dominated this race in the past 3 years. This doesn't look good for Chris Swallow as he pulls up on Quarterbridge Road, 10th at the end of lap 1. Out of the late summer haze comes Ryan Farquhar. He's now dropped almost half a minute on Richardson, who incidentally shattered the lap record for this race on lap 1. And Richardson round signpost, he took 5 seconds off Jason Griffiths' lap record on lap 1. That was from a standing start, so he could be about to beat his home time on lap 2. Here's the 250, 78 is Peter Syme, 79 Peter Richardson, 76 David Smith, but they're 3/4 of a minute down on 250 race leader Ewan Hamilton. Coming to complete lap 2 then, Ryan Farquhar, still losing time to Roy Richardson, but he's still maintaining the gap between himself and Chris McGahn, who still occupies 3rd place. Top of Bray Hill, and first in the race, and now first on the road is Roy Richardson, and it is another lap record. Goodall still in 4th place, but Tony Myers is dropping back. Goodall and the AJS looking a bit more comfortable. Also around 20 or so seconds behind Chris McGahn in 3rd, so still no change in the top 4. Here comes Chris McGahn as he starts his 3rd lap. He's 53 seconds behind race leader Richardson. And well, there's no splitting these two. Matson, Migdal and Snow, who are both in this tremendous 5-way tussle for 5th place, around 4 seconds covering them, Tony Myers, Steve Elliott and Watty Brabham. Ryan Farquhar at Union Mills, and he's now trailing Roy Richardson by 40 seconds. Still no change in the order then. It's Roy Richardson who leads, Ryan Farquhar is 2nd, Chris McGahn is 3rd. And here's John Goodall, still 4th, 23 seconds down on McGahn, and another 10 or so seconds ahead of that great battle for 5th. And one of those riders is this man, Steve Elliott. He's ahead of Madsen, Migdal and Snow, but we have to wait for Myers and Brown to see who's where. Here we see again Roy Richardson and Chris McGahn. What a sight it was for fans to see these two dicing on the roads, even though Richardson had that huge lead. Here's Ewan Hamilton. He led by 51 seconds in the lightweight category as the 250s went in for fuel. Well, it looks like it will take a retirement from Richardson for Farquhar to win this race. A very polished performance from the Ulsterman though, very quick, but not quite able to match the pace of Richardson throughout this race. But a great effort still the same. This is the man in 5th, Steve Elliott. Well, he's gotten quicker as this race has gone on, and he looks a very safe bet in 5th place, having seen off the threat of Myers and company. No change then in the name at the top of the results sheet this year. Roy Richardson will win this race for a 2nd year in a row. This will be his 3rd Manx Grand Prix victory. It's 10 years since Roy Richardson won the Junior Manx Grand Prix. Then he was on a Suzuki. This time it's a Honda, a record-breaking ride for the man from Blackpool. No change in the top 4 throughout the race. Goodall on the AJS is 4th. Then it's Honda's all the way. McGahn 3rd, Farquhar 2nd, but no disputing the winner, Roy Richardson.
It was a bit more of a level playing field today than the senior on Monday. Although when I got to Quarterbridge on Monday. So yeah, I knew I was somewhere in the ballpark. So yeah, it worked out really well.
This is how the 250s fared, and Hamilton dominating throughout. Roy Richardson's father, Peter, finishes 2nd, but it's Hamilton in what could be his last MGP who wins.
Well, I've done this since 1992, and I think I've probably got about 50% nutrition, you know, breaking down, and that's just the way it is with these. When you set off, you don't know if you're going to get to the end. I saw Bud Jackson at Highlander, and I thought, oh, good, you know, but unfortunately, Bud, there you go. Dave Smith couldn't get off the line, I don't think. Commiserations for him, because Dave's a good pal, you know. But at the end of the day, you've got to get to the end.
The top 3 riders take their place on the podium. Roy Richardson in his unmistakable tangerine leathers on the top step and getting a good soaking.